confirm for them that mic number 2 is for the Spanish stream. Can you say that in there? I'm talking. Hello? Hello? Testing. Can you hear me? We're good? Okay.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Lingua Franca. I'm delighted to be here with y'all to welcome the Cuban president, welcome all of y'all in the name of the revolution in Cuba. Build the future, break the blockade. All right, I need y'all to say it with me this time. All right. Let's say, build the future, break the blockade. Build the future, break the blockade. Build the future. Build the future. Cheerleading with that rah is mostly appropriate because mother raws are scarry open and potent as opiates. Harvey Yard and these hopelessly dopey kids. In a small pond and a big fish, let me show you how the oceans swim. If I died in my apartment like a rat in a cage with the buzzer generated rocket blast me to fame, I got what it takes. I brought right back from the grave and Athens today. Make a frat boy collapse on his knees when I rap at the stage so passionately. You laughing, acting like I'm speaking backwards Africanese. African made, but also got a master's degree. Get a fact to the face faster than Jazz and Cassius play like. You better hit for the dope, but that's it. Stop, cause you know I got the raw like raw. You better hit for the dope, but that's it. Stop, cause you know I got the raw like raw. You better hit for the dope, but that's it. Off, cause you know I got the raw like raw. You better hit for the dope, you better hit for the dope. If white America's scared of us, only fair because you gotta crack a couple eggs to make an omelet. Trauma is disproportionately distributed upon the darker skin. It ain't gonna get any better for watching Dr. Phil vanish in the flash of fairy dust, filled away by optimism like this Sagittarius. Lifted up by low swinging, coming for the carriers, chariots. Charities cheesing when people take them very much. It's walking down every street, knocking on every door, telling the neighborhood we ain't taking it anymore. Restoring the civil rights of every felon that you know. You're registered to vote, I'm telling them to the polls. If the senator won't say that Black Lives Matter, till that block the right, get the above the ballot. Today we organizing more than we complain about it. It's cloudy out for president, Karina in the cabinet. You better head for the off, cause you know I got the raw like You better head for the off, cause you know I got the raw like You better head for the off, cause you know I got the raw like You better head for the door, you better head for the door. Say, build the future. Build the future. Build the future. Say, build the future. Build the future. Say, build the future. Say, build the future. Say, build the future. Yeah, that's right. This ain't business as usual, boss. Nah, y'all ain't finna continue to use us as pawns. Coming for ours, stacking double using this John. We coming for everything in a union for all. Hey, this ain't business as usual, boss. Nah, y'all ain't finna continue to use us as pawns. Coming for ours, stacking double using this John. We coming for everything in a union for all. We providing the child care, we the baggage handlers, we care for your elders, we security, we janitors, we making the campus work, stacking hamburgers, and now we standing up, cause every worker on the planet Earth deserves to really thrive in a union for all. I'm talking about 25 in a union for all. I'm coming for 35 in a union for all. We coming for everything in a union for all. Courageousness, and when it's dangerous to agitate, we've been fighting to hike the wages since 2008. When we change shifts, wondering whether the patrons came and sick. I was having 25 an hour paid the rent, but if it's David and Goliath, we the ones who are giant. An indefatigable alliance, bargaining together cause we spray pit when divided. It's okay to be afraid, better when you're beside us, resided. This ain't business as usual, boss. Nah, y'all ain't finna continue use us as pawns. We coming for ours, stacking double using this John. We coming for everything in a union for all. We coming for health care in a union for all. We coming for child care in a union for all. We coming for everything. We coming for everything. We coming for everything in a union for all. Are y'all having a good time so far? Let me hear you make some noise. All right. So with this song, I'm gonna mention a type of debt. I need y'all to say cancel it, okay? So when I say the answer is when the question is student debt, the answer is cancel it. When the question is medical debt, the answer is cancel it. Okay, let's try it real quick. If the question is student debt, the answer is cancel it. If the question is medical debt, if the question is Zambia's debt, we could do it with the movement, baby. You can bet your ass on it. The question is how much of it. The answer is all of it. The question is how many for. The answer is all of us. The question is should that exist. The answer is abolish it. We can do it if we do it with the movement of borrow. The question is student debt. Then the answer is cancel it. Joe could do it with the movement of a pen or a pencil. It's just a fancy flick of the hand. And all of it vanishes. And all my homies hoping to be parents get a fair chance. I know they hear us in high terror bed. Screaming, let us catch our breath of it. If the question is, can you shred the records up indebtedness? Well, the answer is just as simple as I said it is. Second question, should I get the pen? I can scatter you and smother you. Costs that are recovered by insurance when your hip is reconstructed. Student loans for studying, the subject for substance. The ankle monitor mandated for being the plumber and engine that touches butter. Letting you bury you under the interest, wasting your life indentured. 8 to 5 and then some, just to pad their pockets with the payments they invented. Breaking our resistance isn't an accident, it's exactly as it's intended. But the tides are turning on the ruling class in this country. We're getting organized and we are taking back all that is rightfully ours. Y'all finished placing us pushing greasy agreements. We can bring you to need if we tell you no and we mean it. Y'all the ones that owe us and we are the ones behemoth. Withholding what we told to fork over to you until you free us. And not fighting for collective liberation. We be taking on the titans, telling the big bankers we ain't making any payments for hospitalizations or costs or credit cards. Tell them they should thank us for all the paper they making off the way up on them student loans. Can't pay, won't pay. Time to tell them looters no. From Seattle to Nevada, Lewisburg to Louisville. In privatization and erase the debts we shouldn't owe. I'm serious, abolish it. Give us free college and joblessness. Give free health care to all of us. We can't pay, so we won't pay. Unite and debt strike, cause together we own the whole pay. If the question is student debt, the answer is canceled. If the question is medical debt, if the question is Zambia's debt, we could do it with the movement, baby. You can bet your ass on that. Question is how much of it. The answer is all of it. If the question is how many for, answer is all of us. If the question is should that exist, the answer is abolish it. We can do it with the movement and the movement of borrowers. All right, y'all. We got very important things to do this evening, so let me hit you with one last one and head out of here. My name is Lingua Franca. It's been a pleasure to be with you this evening. Thank you so much to the president for being here, for all that he does in this country back home. Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Everybody say. Which side are you on? Everybody say. Everybody say. Workers ship the boxes, we Swiffer and we mopping, look chipper whenever talking, whipping the shopping carts, we pack the beer in the walk-ins, stack the weird little cartons, keep our kitchen fridges stocked, our financial market solvent, we clocking for a pithy $50, bear the coffin of like 60 thrifty chuds, get spit on like sitting ducks, we are sick of it, and not so you ever wanted to honor them, here's my ass for all my hominids, collective bargaining, Amazon and Target and FedEx and Walmart, Instacart and Whole Foods, till we all get what we ought to get. Workers run the company, there isn't any argument, so are you with them, are you? And El Pueblo, Unido, jamás será vencido. El Pueblo, El Pueblo, Unido, jamás será vencido. Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? On the freedom side. I'm on the freedom side. I'm on the freedom side. Imagine a minute, millions of average women and men in the tragic position of trading in passion for wages and cash because they shackled by capitalism. Imagine a minute, millions of average citizens planting the spinach and waxing the kitchens and stacking the linens, contractors and renters and tenants, labor extracted for pittance. What if they coordinated to address the sort of state of it in an organization? Well, guess what? It's what organized labor does, and not even sort of, it's more of the crux. Taking the power from hoarders of bucks, bakers offshoring their cuts, returning the value of labor to those who created it. Billionaires owe it to us. So if you jaded and surly by waking up early, earn a bag, you sad about Bernie if you got a curious turn it, out of a passively lurking, we got your back and we happy to have you out on the picket line actively working. Go, which side are you on? Everybody say. Keep it going, keep it going. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Jamás será vencido. Jamás será vencido. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much.
Las relaciones internacionales en el mundo están sobre la base de una política agresiva y hegemónica. Política agresiva y hegemónica de Estados Unidos, del gobierno de los Estados Unidos.
Every dollar that is sucked toward the U.S. empire, toward the war machine, that's money that could prevent children from being hungry. That's money that could put people in housing.
Most people in the United States are against this blockade. And I'm proud to say that we have 11 million Cuban people marching right behind us. We were simply trying to have a conversation with Bob Menendez, who, as we know, has been just a fierce opponent of Cuba.
Apparently, because we wanted to have a conversation with Senator Menendez, we've been told that we need to leave.
But we're fierce defenders of Cuba.
And a group of Cuban Americans heading to Washington, D.C. stopped in Roanoke over the weekend. They're on their way to deliver a petition to the White House calling for the end of the United States blockade on Cuba. The petition currently has 25,000 signatures.
When President Biden arrived to the White House, he promised that he would lift the sanctions.
When we are here at the White House, we bike for 3,200 miles. We came across the United States and talking every town that we went, talk to the regular American people, no matter what political background.
First will be Resolution 23-01.
City Council Resolution 21-48R.
Docket number 0618.
End the embargo against Cuba. President Mosby.
Yes.
Aye. McCohen.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Yes.
Volin.
Yes. Yes.
And thank you. That passes
Yes.
8-0. Thank you. That passes 8-0.
The U.S. blockade on Cuba has meant. The U.S. blockade on Cuba has meant is death. It's missing. It's pain. The United States has strangled the Cuban economy, and it's imperative for the salvation of the world to fight against the blockade.
La iniciativa es parte del proyecto Atuey, movimiento que involucra a miles de personas en los Estados Unidos en un esfuerzo por hacer llegar donaciones para el sistema de salud pública en Cuba.
Yo vine con una delegación de 26, casi todos jóvenes, todos menos uno por la primera vez que vinieron a Cuba, y cada uno, además de su maleta personal trajo 50 libras de medicinas destinado para los hogares.
18,000 pounds of sheet metal roofing.
19,000 pounds of concrete.
Here we are in the Miami airport, loading food and medicine to take with us on a chartered plane to Cuba. Look at this wonderful group of people with Puentes de Amor. We have a group coming with Code Pink as well, and we are all together saying, lift the blockade.
I want to say in the spirit of Malcolm X that we are not going to let the U.S. government use the false banner of democracy and human rights to slander Cuba. We're not going to let that happen. When we think of democracy in the mouths of those people, we think of what Brother Malcolm X said. American democracy, when they use that word with a big D, is nothing but disguised hypocrisy.
No fue una manifestación, sino que fue un desfile masivo por el Día del Trabajo, lo que ocupó las calles de La Habana, en Cuba, este 1 de mayo. Después de 2 años suspendida por la pandemia, la tradicional festividad reunió a decenas de miles de personas que coreaban consignas y portaban carteles a favor del gobierno.
¡Viva Fidel! ¡Viva! ¡Viva socialismo! ¡Viva! ¡Viva Cuba! ¡Viva! ¡Viva la nación! ¡Viva!
International solidarity is not full, is not strong, unless it includes the United States. We are not our government, and we need to do a lot of work to show that the American people do not support the American empire and are prepared to stand arm in arm with nations around the world.
Years ago, James Monroe issued the so-called Monroe Doctrine, announcing that the U.S. capitalist, slave-owning, ruling class was going to not only rule over North America, but the entire hemisphere. And 199 years later, we can say we're putting the final nail in the coffin of the Monroe Doctrine. Fidel Castro and the Cuban Revolution got the ball rolling. We're going to end it.
Hoy las relaciones internacionales en el mundo están sobre la base.
Build the future! Build the future! Friends and comrades, we are honored to be bringing down the house tonight. We have our friends from Cuba and Venezuela here with us tonight. In a vibrant room full of young revolutionaries from across the United States. If we're here today, it's because the example of the Cuban people, of the Venezuelan people, has been the fountain of resistance. We are not afraid to say that we believe in a socialist project. We are not afraid to say that this system needs to change. A few days ago, My friend, my brother, my comrade, Miguel Díaz-Canel, visited the People's Forum. And after explaining what we do, our political education work, our internationalist work, he asked us, so what is it that you want to do? The answer was very simple for us. The one and only thing we want to do is to make revolution. And for us, the promise, the inspiration to make revolution in our lifetime has a concreteness. It's real, it's palpable, because we see it in the work, in the daily lives of the Cuban and Venezuelan people. This has been a quite intense week. An intense week in which we have resolutely demonstrated, not just to the people of New York, not just to the people of the United States, but throughout the world, that millions of people around the world effectively stand with the people of Cuba and Venezuela. No gusanos, no opposition, no dissidents were capable of stopping the love of the people of this city, of this country, for our revolutionary comrades. And that is why we come to this program tonight. This program is precisely everything that the U.S. government intends to stop, intends to block, intends to sanction. They don't want us to listen to our comrades from Cuba and Venezuela. They don't want us to actually listen to the concrete examples of how they actually build a response, an alternative to the dilemmas of humanity. When we say build the future, it's not just any future.
No se trata de cualquier futuro. Queremos aprender de nuestros compañeros de Cuba y Venezuela y construir un futuro hacia el socialismo. Comenzamos esta noche con DJ Caramavi. Tenemos nuestro
with a series of comrades from both the United States
compañeros
and Cuba and Venezuela that have a
de
lot
Estados Unidos, Cuba y Venezuela que tienen mucho que compartir. Tenemos uno de los frutos del amor que Cuba comparte con el mundo, el fruto de los sueños de Fidel y Lucius Walker. La doctora Samira Adre. Tenemos con nosotros hoy a nuestro querido compañero DJ Prashad. Tenemos a nuestro querido hermano revolucionario, el ministro de Exteriores de Venezuela, Yvan Pinto. Tenemos a ese gran amigo de Cuba, que es artista revolucionario, Arturo Carlos Pinto. Y por supuesto, algunos de nosotros han volado miles de millas y han conducido varias distancias para escuchar a este compañero revolucionario, Miguel Díaz-Canel.
Al empezar hoy queremos también estar al tanto, queremos recordar, porque hay memorias de 200 años de la doctrina Monroe, 200 años de guerras, de invasiones, de sanciones y bloqueos. Como nuestro querido compañero Brian Becker dijo, la Revolución Cubana abrió un nuevo comienzo para el principio del fin de esta doctrina Monroe cruel e inhumana. Y sabemos que los mismos enemigos de los pueblos de América Latina y el Caribe son los enemigos de los pobres trabajadores en Estados Unidos. Es por eso que esta noche no podemos olvidar que ninguno de nosotros es libre hasta que Puerto Rico sea libre. Ahora quisiera darle la bienvenida a mi querida amiga y compañera de muchas guerras, organizadora de Pastores por la Paz, una estudiante ejemplar de la ELAM y en general la esencia de una doctora revolucionaria.
Se me ha pedido que haga uso de la palabra aquí en esta reunión. Y podemos hacer varias cosas. Cuando yo diga Ubuntu, ustedes dicen I am because you are. Yo soy porque eres tú. Cuando yo diga patria, ustedes dicen es humanidad. Y cuando diga todo por Cuba, ustedes dicen salud para todas. Para todos. Esto será nuestra salud y esto es lo que permitirá que nuestra temperatura aumente. Hay un proverbio africano que dice, el candil debe encenderse para que ilumine a todos. Tenemos que introducir cambios dinámicos para distribuir mejor la riqueza entre todos. Y esto tenemos que hacerlo en los Estados Unidos y en otras potencias.
En Ghana los tiempos se convirtieron más difíciles cuando muchos niños tuvieron que salir de sus estados y tuvieron que hacer muchas colas para conseguir comida y combustible. Si no fuera por la solidaridad, las cosas hubieran sido peores. Pero para endulzar estas dificultades, podíamos contar con el azúcar de Cuba. Se enviaron en casi todos los sectores de la economía de Ghana. Y puede que eso no se escuche en los medios. Cuando yo tenía 15 años fue que lo escuché que se podía estudiar medicina en Cuba, y cuando lo hablé con mis padres salieron a la luz más revelaciones y me decidí de que sería una doctora y que iba a estudiar en Cuba en la Escuela Latinoamericana de Medicina. Como saben, la ELAM es una extensión del internacionalismo cubano cada vez más, y la tendencia de ayudar a aquellos amigos y vecinos en problemas se arraiga más en Cuba. Y fue Martí quien dijo: patria es humanidad. Y es por esta humanidad que Cuba entrena profesionales en medicina para que sirvan donde sea necesario. Han enviado misiones médicas a más de 65 países. 650,000 profesionales de la salud y técnicos han salvado vidas y erradicado enfermedades. Cuba ha defendido la paz y la justicia durante décadas y ha entrenado sus recursos humanos a corregir los males que han hecho otros, mientras otros países desarrollados dejan a sus pueblos atrás sin salud y sin atención médica. Cuba insiste en invertir en la educación y en la salud de su pueblo. Y Cuba es un patrocinador global de salud para todos.
Take an anesthesiologist who accompanies the wounded in the front lines of protest demanding justice in Chile. A pediatric surgeon who offers much needed help to precious lives thousands of kilometers away in the Sahel region. And I say the Sahel region because that surgeon has to travel from Chad to Mali to Niger because of the few pediatric surgeons in that region. And an endocrinologist in Nicaragua who inspires and monitors the growth and development of the Nicaraguan people. And who made it possible? Cuba. It wasn't Spain, it wasn't France, it wasn't the United States, it was Cuba.
No fue Estados Unidos quien hizo esto, ni Francia, fue Cuba.
Our only debt as graduates of this scholarship program is to be revolutionary doctors. As Commander Che taught us to protect humanity and fight more than ever for a better world. In the United States, we are 228 strong. U.S. Elam graduates are working across 30 states, grappling with critical questions like education, black maternal health and infant mortality, geriatric care focused on patients with dementia and Alzheimer's. Some are doing research in health inequities, others are working in addiction care, border medicine, and an overwhelming majority of all those practicing medicine are centered in primary care work. These physicians are carrying the torch of revolutionary medicine we need right here in the United States.
Atención primaria. Y eso es lo que necesitamos aquí en Estados Unidos.
When I say all for Cuba, you say health for all. All for Cuba? Health for all. Sovereignty and determination as health determinants continue to save lives in Cuba and the world. A few days ago, President Diaz-Canel reminded world leaders at the G77 meeting in Havana of the importance of the African philosophy of Ubuntu. It is a concept that recognizes our interconnectedness. Phrases like a person is a person through or because of others, or I am because we are demonstrating the caring and compassionate nature of this philosophy. That is why leaders like Nelson Mandela, Archbishop Desmond Tutu promoted that concept in the nation's rebuilding process after apartheid. And it is because of inherently practicing Ubuntu that Cubans have been able to extend themselves and share with the world what they have and not what is left over.
Con el mundo lo que tienen y no lo que les sobra.
It was a bullet paid for the U.S. government that injured Reverend Lucius Walker in Nicaragua in 1988. A bullet fired by the Contras, and with that incident began the beginning of a firm and defiant response against the crimes of imperialism. Reverend Walker was very clear in his understanding of the dangerous process of division that the American government was falsely promoting on behalf of the American people, and created the Pastors for Peace Project to reject and combat injustices with weapons of truth, love, and solidarity. It is a call to action that is in our DNA. Reverend Lucius Walker understood interconnectedness. He affirmed this through his life's work. Fidel taught us we must be resolute that our bodies will no longer pay the price of imperialist crimes.
Nuestros cuerpos no paguen el precio del imperialismo.
Nor will our health pay the heavy price of liquidation at the expense of profit making. We must understand interconnectedness, our interconnectedness. Sanctions are a crime against humanity, and a third of the world from Zimbabwe to Afghanistan should never have to suffer the indignities of economic warfare. Let's bring down the blockade against Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and all sanctions.
Del mundo desarrollados tienen que terminar con las sanciones en todos nuestros países.
When I say Ubuntu, you say I am because we are. Ubuntu. We must remind ourselves of the core and universal truths that shape the outstanding achievements of those who came before us. We thank the Cuban Revolution and the transformation of so many of us into creative, resilient citizens and physicians for our communities in the States and globally. Let us always remember Ubuntu. Patria es humanidad, and Cuba is a sponsor of health for all.
Patria es humanidad,
¡Viva la
y Cuba patrocina salud
hasta la
para
victoria
todos!
Siempre!
Dr. Samira. We love life.
A nosotros amamos la vida, amamos la vida.
We love humanity.
Amamos a la humanidad.
We love human beings.
Amamos a los seres humanos.
We love humanity.
Amamos a la humanidad, a los seres humanos, y por eso es que amamos al socialismo. Nuestro amor por la humanidad nos impulsa. Ellos aman la muerte. Ellos aman el sufrimiento. Ellos quieren que las personas pasen hambre. Ellos necesitan que haya personas que mueran en sus guerras. A nosotros no nos gustan las guerras. A nosotros amamos la vida. Nosotros amamos a las personas. Nosotros amamos a la humanidad. No pueden ustedes imaginar qué placer es para mí estar junto al presidente de Cuba, Miguel Díaz-Canel. No pueden imaginar ustedes qué placer siento yo de estar junto al canciller de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela. Por supuesto, soy muy amigo del presidente, el gran presidente Maduro. La revolución cubana, la revolución bolivariana, las revoluciones socialistas en general aman la vida. Estas revoluciones son el latido del mundo. Son el latido del mundo. Hace unas semanas me enfermé en Santiago de Chile y fui al médico, a una clínica pública, un médico chileno. Pero por supuesto, este médico fue entrenado en Venezuela. Hace unos meses, y no quiero decir que yo me enfermo muy seguido, pero me encontré a un médico que fue entrenado en Cuba. Es interesante que en los hospitales públicos en toda América Latina Los médicos parecen ser capacitados o bien en Cuba o en Venezuela. Esos médicos aman la vida. Si usted va al hospital privado, los médicos por lo general son entrenados en los Estados Unidos. No voy a hablar mal de la reputación de esos médicos, pero me parece a mí que es una opción de clase. Es una opción sobre la base de las clases. Esa es la razón por la cual aquellos que aman la vida también aman el socialismo. Eso es lo importante para nosotros. Eso es lo que significa la clase. La clase significa amar al pueblo, estar con el pueblo, asistir al pueblo. Es interesante. En el mundo se producen grandes cambios en estos días. Son cambios interesantes. Muchos no entienden qué es lo que pasa. En la última reunión de los BRICS, este grupo se amplió. Hay muchos países que se han unido a este grupo. Después se produjo la cumbre del grupo de los 77 en La Habana. Próximamente se reunirá el movimiento de los no alineados. El centro de gravedad del mundo se está moviendo desde Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. ya no es el centro del mundo. En el 1 de enero de 2024, cuando se amplíe efectivamente el BRICS, ya el centro del mundo no va a estar en Washington, D.C. Y en toda la región del Sahel, un país después del otro, le han dicho a Francia que se vaya. Un país detrás del otro. Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea. Un país después del otro. Todos le han dicho a Francia, váyanse de aquí.
Go home, France. We don't want France. Go home, France. Go home, France. We don't want you anymore. One country after the other. Tomorrow it will be Chad. The next day it will be Benin.
Mañana veremos al Chad, después a Benín.
We don't want you.
Go home, France, le dicen ellos.
Go home,
ya
England.
Lo queremos. Go home,
We don't need
Inglaterra.
you.
No nos necesitamos a
In
ustedes.
fact, my friends, the center of
El
gravity is
centro de
moving.
gravedad se está
It's
moviendo.
about time
Todo
that
es cuestión de
France
tiempo
and
antes de
Britain
que Francia y Gran Bretaña
voluntarily resign their
voluntariamente
seats on the Security Council of the
renuncien
UN.
a su escaño en el Consejo de Seguridad de las Naciones
We
Unidas.
don't want them.
No los queremos.
We don't want a British veto. We
No
don't
queremos
want a
un veto
French
británico.
veto.
No queremos un voto
When will there be an
francés.
African country with a permanent seat on the Security
¿Cuándo
Council?
vamos a ver a un país africano con un escaño permanente en el Consejo de Seguridad?
When will there be? When will there be a Latin American country
¿Cuándo
with a
veremos
permanent seat on the Security
a un
Council?
país de América Latina con un escaño permanente en el Consejo de Seguridad?
France, go home.
Francia, váyanse.
England,
Inglaterra,
go home.
váyanse a su
We
casa.
don't need you. You
No los
are
necesitamos.
mediocre European countries.
Ustedes son mediocres.
You are mediocre European countries.
Ustedes
We
son
don't need you.
mediocres. No los
We
necesitamos.
want you to go back to fix your own problems.
Nosotros queremos que ustedes regresen para que se ocupen de
France
arreglar
is
sus
on
propios
fire, Macron.
problemas.
You don't know what is happening in your
Francia
own home.
está en llamas, Macron.
Rishi Sunak, are you the prime minister still? Go back
Sunak,
home, fix your
todavía
problems.
eres tú
Yours is a mid-sized,
un primer
mediocre
ministro.
country. Doesn't deserve a permanent
Estos
seat on the Security
Países
Council. We
mediocres
don't
no
need you.
merecen tener un escaño permanente en el Consejo de Seguridad. No los
The center
necesitamos.
of gravity
El
in
centro
the
de
world
gravedad del
has
mundo
moved.
se ha
We don't need
movido.
you anymore.
No los necesitamos a ustedes.
The heartbeat of the world
El latido del mundo,
is
el
in the
latir del
revolutionary
mundo
processes in places like Cuba, like
está en los
Venezuela.
procesos revolucionarios que se producen en países como
Gotta
Cuba y
look at what
Venezuela.
the Chinese have done.
Miren lo que han logrado los chinos.
You gotta look at what the Chinese have done.
Miren lo que han logrado los chinos.
The Chinese have abolished poverty.
Los chinos han logrado
Every day,
abolir
when I
la
look at the
pobreza.
United States
Todos los días,
numbers,
cuando veo las cifras de los
hunger
Estados
and
Unidos,
poverty is increasing in this country.
la pobreza y el hambre aumentan en
When
este
will
país.
this government, which claims to be for democracy,
Cuando este gobierno que se dice democrático se va a comprometer a abolir la pobreza en los Estados Unidos?
when will this country
¿Cuándo este país
lectures everybody about democracy and human rights? What about the human rights and democratic rights of the people in the United
deje de
States?
hablar de los derechos humanos de la democracia en otros países?
to
¿Cuándo
China.
va a hablar de la democracia y
But
los derechos
they
humanos
don't
en este
want
país?
you to look to China, Cuba,
Debemos
Venezuela,
mirar
any
el
of these
ejemplo
countries.
de China, de
Why?
Cuba, de Venezuela.
See,
¿Por
the
qué no lo
thing is,
seguimos?
The ruling class in the United
La
States,
clase
in
gobernante
France,
de
in
los
Britain,
Estados
they have
Unidos,
no
de
clue
Francia,
anymore.
de
They're
Gran
out of
Bretaña,
touch.
han perdido el
They
rumbo.
don't know what's happening in the
Ya
world.
no
They're
saben qué es lo
bewildered.
que está ocurriendo en el mundo.
They don't understand
No
ending poverty.
comprenden de qué
What
se
they
trata la
understand is
pobreza.
war.
De lo único que saben es de la guerra.
We love life.
Nosotros amamos la vida.
We love people.
Nosotros amamos a las personas.
We love
Nosotros
humanity.
amamos a la humanidad.
But we don't love humanity in the abstraction.
Pero no amamos a la
We
humanidad en
love
abstracto.
human beings.
Nosotros amamos a los seres
Love
humanos.
human beings.
Amamos a los seres
If
humanos.
you love human
Si
beings,
ustedes aman
you
a los seres
cannot
humanos,
tolerate
usted
hunger.
no puede tolerar el hambre.
If you love human
Si
beings,
usted ama a los
you
seres humanos,
cannot
usted
tolerate
no
hunger.
puede tolerar el hambre.
Socialists don't live in abstractions.
Los
We
socialistas
live in reality.
no viven en el abstracto, viven la
There are
realidad.
projects in the world against hunger.
Hay proyectos en el
led
mundo en
by
contra
socialists.
el hambre dirigidos
We
por
love
socialistas. Nosotros amamos la
They
vida.
love death.
Ellos aman la muerte.
They want to stop
Ellos
the
quieren
changes happening place in
detener
the world
los cambios
with
que
war.
están sucediendo en el mundo
They
a través
want
de las
war.
guerras. Ellos
They
quieren la
want
guerra.
more war.
Ellos quieren más
They want to
guerras.
start a
Quieren
war against
comenzar
China.
una guerra en contra de China.
The most unbelievably suicidal thing to happen on the
La
planet.
cosa más
The
suicida
stupidest
que se
idea in the
haya
world.
dado en el mundo, la cosa más estúpida en el
The
mundo.
United States
Los
prosecuting
Estados
a
Unidos
war against China. You just had to withdraw from Iraq.
prosiguen con la guerra. Miren el
You were
ejemplo
defeated
de
by
lo
the
que
Taliban.
pasó en Irak. Han sido
couldn't beat the
derrotados
Taliban.
por los talibanes.
How are you going to beat the Chinese?
¿Van entonces ustedes a derrotar a los
kind
chinos?
What kind of policy is
¿Qué
that?
tipo de política es esa?
Suicidal.
Es una política suicida.
They love war because
Ellos
they don't like humanity.
aman la guerra porque no
They
aman
love
la
war
humanidad.
because they
Aman la
don't
guerra
believe
porque
in
no
human beings.
creen en los seres humanos.
We love life.
Nosotros
friends.
amamos
We
la,
stand with the Cuban
la
Revolution
vida,
because the
amigos.
Cuban Revolution
Estamos con la revolución
loves
cubana
life.
porque la revolución cubana ama la vida.
We stand with the Bolivarian Revolution
Nosotros
in
estamos con la
Venezuela
revolución en
because the
Venezuela
Bolivarian
porque la
Revolution
revolución bolivariana de
loves life.
Venezuela ama la vida.
We reject
Nosotros rechazamos
the Monroe Doctrine
la doctrina
because it's
Monroe
out of touch.
porque
It's out of touch.
es insensata.
It's 200 years old.
Tiene ya
Put it to
200
sleep.
años. Hay que
The
ponerla ya
center of gravity has shifted.
a dormir.
No longer can the United States tell a country what it should or should not do. The United States needs to come to terms with the fact that it's just another country on the planet Earth.
Tienen que darse cuenta de que hay otros países sobre la faz de la tierra.
There's no city on the hill. There's no city on the hill.
No hay ninguna ciudad.
It's just another country. There are 193 countries. It's just another country. Feed your people. House your people. Heal your people. Love your people. Feed your people. You may not know this, but the foreign minister of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela knows what it means to feed people. He knows that not because he's feeding a lot of people these days. He has to travel everywhere, shake a lot of hands, talk to different people and so on, but he comes from agriculture. His feet are rooted in the soil of the country freed by Simón Bolívar. It is my joy, it is my privilege to give you the Foreign Minister of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Yvan Gil.
¡Viva Cuba! ¡Viva! ¡Que viva Venezuela! ¡Viva! ¡Viva los pueblos libres del mundo! ¡Viva! ¡Que viva Chávez! En primer lugar, quiero agradecer la invitación que le han hecho a la República Bolivariana de Venezuela, acompañarles en este maravilloso acto que, como dice su principal eslogan, traduciendo, estamos defendiendo y promoviendo la dignidad de los pueblos. Y digo esto porque Cuba y Venezuela son dos pueblos, dos países, dos estados que han conquistado su derecho a ser libres y han conquistado su soberanía a fuerza de trabajo, sudor. Nadie nos ha regalado nada. Pocos pueblos en el mundo tienen la dicha que tienen los pueblos latinoamericanos de haber conquistado su independencia a través de la lucha y a través de la movilización popular.
Through popular mobilization.
Somos pueblos que luchamos por la dignidad, luchamos por la soberanía, luchamos por el bienestar, luchamos por la humanidad.
We are a people who fight for dignity, we fight for sovereignty, we fight for well-being, we fight for humanity.
La revolución bolivariana y la revolución cubana son revoluciones precisamente que han levantado la bandera de la dignidad, la bandera de la independencia y la bandera de la libertad en nuestro pueblo.
The Bolivarian Revolution and the Cuban Revolution are revolutions that have raised the flag of dignity, the flag of freedom and independence in our peoples.
Hemos venido trajinando por todo el mundo nuestro grito y nuestro esfuerzo de esperanza, de libertad, de pasión revolucionaria.
We have been traveling around the world, raising the voice for freedom, for peace, for revolutionary liberties.
Hemos estado defendiendo un modelo o construyendo un modelo alternativo al modelo del capitalismo, al modelo de la explotación.
We have been building an alternative model to the model of capitalism and the model of exploitation.
Hemos estado tratando de construir nuestra propia vía, nuestra propia ruta de la felicidad.
We have been trying to build our own path, our own way to happiness.
Respetando los derechos de los trabajadores, de las trabajadoras, de la población, los derechos de nuestros vecinos, de los otros pueblos del mundo.
We have been respecting the rights of the workers, of the population, of men and women and our neighbors, all of the people in the world.
Pero hemos defendido con mucha fuerza y mucho ánimo nuestros recursos, nuestra soberanía, nuestro territorio.
But we have defended very strongly our resources, our sovereignty, and our territory.
El imperialismo no nos perdona eso.
And imperialism cannot forgive us for this.
Y hace todo lo posible por destruir nuestra revolución.
He's doing everything as is possible to destroy our revolution.
Pero no ha podido ni podrá.
They cannot do it and they will not do it.
Después de haber resistido durante décadas los embates del imperialismo, que con todas las trampas, bajo toda la maldad que eso implica, sabotajes, ataques, intentos de asesinato, bloqueos contra nuestro pueblo, sanciones, hoy más que nunca podemos decir que seguimos de pie y seguimos venciendo.
After resisting for decades the attacks of imperialism, we've fallen in every trap and their evil, the attempts of sabotage, attempts of murder, the blockades, the sanctions. We can say today that we still stand and that we will continue to stand.
Y hoy estamos aquí en este evento, Voces de la Dignidad, alzando nuestra voz dignamente, no para pedir solo la solidaridad, sino para decir que esta es una lucha de todos. Esta es una lucha donde estamos implicados, donde incluso está implicado el pueblo estadounidense.
And we are here in this event for the Voices of Dignity, not only to ask you for our solidarity, but to tell you that it is not only our fight, it is a fight where everyone is involved, even the people of the United States of America is involved, all of us.
La revolución cubana y la revolución bolivariana, la revolución socialista, no demanda caridad ni protección, demanda implicación de todos los pueblos.
The Cuban Revolution, the Bolivarian Revolution, and the Socialist Revolution is not demanding charity. We demand the participation of everyone.
Hoy estamos ante el nacimiento de un nuevo orden mundial, de un nuevo sistema internacional que está emergiendo actualmente.
Today we're witnessing the birth of a new world order, a new system that is emerging right now.
La decadencia donde nos ha llevado el capitalismo exacerbado, la decadencia donde nos está llevando el imperialismo, nos demuestra que es necesario construir, es necesario fortalecer este nuevo orden mundial.
The decay of capitalism and the decay of imperialism is showing us that we need to strengthen this new world order.
Hemos visto el deterioro al que se han sometido los trabajadores, las trabajadoras, la pérdida de los derechos sociales en los países capitalistas. Eso lo vemos todos los días.
We have seen the damage that have been done to workers in every country of the world. We have seen the losses that has been caused by capitalism all around the world.
Es un modelo insostenible que estamos viendo.
It is a model that is not sustainable anymore.
El mundo no puede más. Las crisis ambientales, las crisis climáticas, las crisis sociales, las crisis productivas, energéticas, todos los días las tenemos presentes.
The world cannot take it anymore. We have the climate crisis, the energy crisis, the food crisis, the crisis that we see every single day.
Y por eso que tenemos que juntos construir un nuevo modelo.
Therefore, together we need to build this new model.
Por eso es que juntos están haciendo un nuevo modelo.
That is why together we are seeing the emergence of this new model.
Hoy, a lo interno de nuestros países, al interno de Venezuela, estamos viviendo precisamente una reconquista de los derechos de los trabajadores.
Today, in our countries and in Venezuela, we are reconquering the rights of workers.
No ha sido fácil porque no solamente nos enfrentamos a enemigos internos, sino nos enfrentamos a la potencia militar más poderosa que ha conocido la humanidad.
It has not been easy because we're not only facing internal enemies, but we're also facing the biggest superpower ever known by humankind.
Todos ustedes saben todos los ataques que ha sido sometida la revolución bolivariana en los últimos 24 años.
You know all of the attacks that we have suffered in the Bolivarian Revolution in the past 24 years.
Nuestra revolución fue atacada incluso antes de estar en el poder.
Our revolution was attacked even before getting to power.
La primera sanción que se le aplica a los pueblos es precisamente desacreditarlo, usar los medios de comunicación, hoy en día las redes sociales, inventar las fake news, crear un relato falso sobre nuestra política, sobre la acción revolucionaria.
The first sanction that was applied was to discredit us in social media with fake news, with fake information, to create a false narrative of what our revolution was doing.
Todo eso lo hemos derrotado.
But we have defeated all of this.
Estamos avanzando con mucha fuerza.
And we are advancing very strongly.
Pero nos seguimos enfrentando a amenazas muy peligrosas.
But we're still facing very dangerous threats.
El imperio ha intentado golpes de Estado, golpes militares, golpes jurídicos, golpes legislativos, mediáticos, industriales, de todo tipo.
The empire has attempted every form of coup d'etat, military coup d'etat, legal coup d'etat, financial coup d'etat. Every single attempt has been made by them.
En todos ha fracasado.
And they have all failed.
Haciendo mucho daño. Y hoy creo que seriamente nos enfrentamos a una nueva amenaza.
But today I think we are really facing a new threat.
Es el fascismo.
Which is fascism.
Nos están lanzando, se están probando en toda nuestra América los intentos de promover la fuerza fascista para revertir el avance de los pueblos.
All around America, they are promoting the emergence of fascist forces to revert the achievements of our revolution.
Nosotros lo vivimos hace algunos años ya.
We lived this a few years ago.
La calle, quemando personas vivas, acciones que fueron validadas por los medios de comunicación, por los partidos políticos dominantes del mundo y por algunos países, estimulando esa fuerza fascista.
We saw it on the street a few years ago in the riots. We saw the burning of people that were alive, and all of these were validated by the media, by political parties, that they wanted to assert their truth as that they were fascists.
Y si bien en Venezuela y en Cuba también derrotamos el fascismo, es una amenaza que tenemos que estar vigilando.
And even if we have defeated it, this is a threat, and we need to remain vigilant about this.
Y la única forma de enfrentar el fascismo es con la movilización popular.
The only way to face fascism is with popular mobilization.
La revolución bolivariana basa su éxito precisamente en una movilización constante del pueblo.
The success of the Bolivarian Revolution has been caused by the constant mobilization of its people.
En los momentos más difíciles siempre hemos convocado al pueblo a la calle.
In the most difficult moments, we have always called upon the people to take the streets.
A opinar, a defender, a criticar. Un pueblo en movimiento no es derrotado jamás.
To speak up, to criticize, to defend. A people that are in the streets can never be defeated.
Ahora nos enfrentamos a nuevas amenazas, además del fascismo también.
And apart from fascism, we're also seeing other threats.
Y quiero aprovechar estos últimos minutos para compartir con ustedes una denuncia que venimos haciendo desde hace unos días.
And I would like to take these few minutes to share with you a denounce that we have been publicizing in the few days.
El imperialismo norteamericano trata de imponernos una nueva amenaza militar en nuestro territorio.
The American empire is trying to impose a new military threat in our territory.
Usando como excusa un conflicto limítrofe que Venezuela tiene ya por más de 200 años.
And the excuse that they are using is a border dispute that Venezuela has had for many, many years.
Tenemos una gran parte del territorio venezolano fue arrebatado por el Imperio inglés en 1899 a través de un tratado fraudulento.
A big part of the Venezuelan territory was taken away by the British Empire through a fraudulent treaty in 1899.
Desde entonces, Venezuela ha venido reclamando precisamente y demandando que ese tratado fue un tratado fraudulento, un tratado corrupto que despojó a Venezuela de ese territorio.
And Venezuela has always claimed that this treaty was fraudulent and that it was corrupt, that took away our territory illegally.
Y para ello siempre ha levantado las banderas del diálogo y la paz, del intercambio de información con nuestra vecina Guyana.
And we have always raised the flag of dialogue, of communication, on talks with our neighbor country, Guyana.
Nosotros no vemos otra opción que no sea la negociación diplomática con este país.
There is no other option for us than diplomatic negotiation with this country.
Sin embargo, hoy los Estados Unidos tratan de emplazar movilizaciones militares en Guyana para amenazar a Venezuela, inmiscuyéndose precisamente en un conflicto de dos países que ellos no tienen nada que ver.
But today, the U.S. is trying to mobilize military troops in Guyana, interfering in a conflict in which they are not involved at all.
Después de 200 años, sigue la doctrina Monroe tratando de hacer estragos en nuestro continente.
After 200 years, the Monroe Doctrine is still trying to ravage our country.
Si realmente queremos una solución del diferendo territorial, se debe resolver por la vía diplomática, hemos dicho.
If we want a settlement to this border dispute, of course this needs to be solved through the diplomatic means.
Y nosotros vamos a seguir trabajando en esa ruta. Nunca dejaremos esa ruta de trabajo diplomático y de diálogo.
And we will never abandon this path of diplomatic work and dialogue.
Pero si el imperio norteamericano intenta involucrarse en un conflicto que no le corresponde, allí encontrará de pie al pueblo de Venezuela.
But if the U.S. empire wants to be involved in a conflict that is not their conflict, there will be the Venezuelan people standing firm.
Con esta, para concluir, ahora sí, creo que hay muchos mejores oradores que yo más adelante.
To conclude, I think there are much better speakers than me.
Quiero nuevamente agradecer la lucha que han emprendido esta parte del pueblo estadounidense para defender la revolución bolivariana y la revolución cubana.
Once again, I would like to thank you for the struggle that has been led by this part of the American people to defend the Bolivarian Revolution.
Y tengan la seguridad todos ustedes que ni en Cuba ni en Venezuela serán defraudados.
And rest assured that nor Cuba nor Venezuela will fail you.
Nosotros seguiremos venciendo.
We will continue to defeat.
Patria, socialismo, muerte, venceremos.
We will prevail.
Campo yo vivo triste, cada día sufriendo más. Adiós te voy a decir, si no balo bomba me voy a morir. Family, we live in sadness, suffering daily a little more. My God, I just have to say, if I can't dance bomba, I won't be here no more. Wow. I'm going to paraphrase the words of Salman Rushdie, if I may. A poem can't stop a bullet. A sonnet can't cure cancer, but we can name the liars. We can point at the mediocrity of the lie. And this is what we're going to do. And one word that comes to me when I look at the president of Cuba sitting here in our midst is compay. That's a beautiful word in Spanish. It's someone that's closer to you than a brother. Somebody who you give your life for. And who would come to here, to this nation, to stand in front of all of us and to represent Cuba. Presidente. So we're going to throw a little Afro-Latin, Zen, Buddhist, Baptist, Palestinian, reggaeton funk your way with a piece I wrote called Compay. And for this case, it's Compay Diaz. Compay. Compay. We have one more for you. It's actually 1 and 2. We're going to come out of one piece that is beloved to Cubans. And we're going to go from that. Piece, of course, is by Ernesto Lecuone. And you'll recognize it. But we're going to go from that piece. I wonder, is it okay for me to curse? Because I've written the blues that over the years I've used for many different things. I've used it as red state blues, criminal justice system blues. I've used this blues to just vent, because sometimes I'm so disgusted by what I see. In this case, I'm going to call it Fuck the Blockade Blues.
Viva Venezuela! Comrades, what we've heard so far fills us with deep inspiration. We want to say to our brother, Comandante, and President Nicolás Maduro that we stand with Venezuela against ExxonMobil, against the Southern Command, and any force that attempts to take away the dignity and sovereignty of the Venezuelan people. We also want to say,
también queremos decir
this night is almost coming to
que
an
esta
end.
noche ya casi termina.
I am beyond nervous,
Estoy
beyond
mucho más
excited,
allá de nervioso y emocionado,
beyond moved.
de conmovido.
That the honor is not just mine, but it's the honor of everyone who's in this room.
Por un honor que no solo es mío, sino de todos los que estamos aquí. Así que den la bienvenida a nuestro compañero y hermano revolucionario, Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermúdez.
Cuban Revolution. He is the proud son of workers, the proud son of a teacher,
orgulloso hijo de la revolución, de los trabajadores, de los internacionalistas, alguien que cree en la ciencia y la tecnología, en las maldades que afectan nuestras vidas. Es por eso que le llamamos compañero.
Cuba sí, bloqueo no. Cuba sí, bloqueo no. Cuba sí, bloqueo no. Compañeras y compañeros,
comrades and sisters,
amigas y amigos,
friends all,
hermanas y hermanos,
brothers and sisters.
Cuba y Venezuela están seguros que con el heroísmo de nuestros pueblos y el apoyo de ustedes venceremos.
Cuba and Venezuela are confident that with the heroism of our people and your support that we shall overcome.
Nos sentimos muy emocionados y conmovidos al estar participando en este acto de solidaridad.
And we are deeply moved to be in attendance of this solidarity meeting.
Que ustedes, las voces dignas de los Estados Unidos, las voces dignas del pueblo norteamericano,
we are hearing here the worthy voices of the American people.
Dan un enorme apoyo a Cuba y Venezuela.
And these voices are extending a very important support for Cuba and Venezuela.
A nuestras revoluciones hermanas.
Our two sisters revolutions.
Diciendo no a las sanciones y a los bloqueos.
By saying no to sanctions and blockades.
Ahora les quiero hacer una pregunta.
Now I want to ask you a question.
Después de todo lo que se ha dicho aquí.
After everything that has been said here.
Después de todos los sentimientos que se han expresado aquí.
After all of the feelings that have been expressed here.
Después que ustedes han oído una magnífica muestra de música de jazz norteamericano con la latinidad de la música cubana por el maestro Farril y su quinteto, ¿hace falta que yo hable?
Now, after you have heard all of the things that have been said here, and after we have listened to wonderful American jazz with a Latin touch from the master, Fabio, do you think it is necessary for me to use the floor here?
Ustedes son muy amables y generosos.
And you are very kind.
Bueno, yo tengo muchas cosas que expresarles, sentimientos que provienen del compromiso de la lucha revolucionaria de pueblos como Venezuela, como Cuba, que cuando vemos estas manifestaciones de solidaridad, este empeño de ustedes por apoyarnos precisamente con lo que ustedes se han propuesto con voces dignas, uno también siente un enorme compromiso, porque sabemos que entonces no estamos luchando solo por Venezuela, no estamos luchando solo por Cuba, no estamos luchando solo por los países y los pueblos del sur, sino que ustedes y todos nosotros estamos luchando por un mundo mejor que es posible.
I come here, and I have a lot of feelings as a result of all of the words of solidarity that have been expressed here, and I have a lot of things to get out of my mouth, get out of my heart, and when I listen to your voices here, all of that only comes to reinforce our commitment, because we find that we are not fighting only for Cuba, and we are not fighting only for Venezuela. We are fighting with your support for the entire South, and at the same time, we find that we are fighting, and you are fighting alongside with us for a better world that is possible.
Y ese sentimiento que estamos compartiendo todos aquí en esta noche es la enseñanza, es el ejemplo, es lo que nos pidió o lo que nos pidieron Fidel y Chávez.
Therefore, all of the feelings that we are sharing here tonight are just the lessons, and the examples and the teachings and what Fidel and Chávez asked us.
Hermanas y hermanos, participando en este acto estaba pensando en el camino que nos ha hecho llegar hasta aquí.
Brothers and sisters, as I sat there participating in this event, I was thinking of the road that brought us here.
Y estaba pensando también en un acto similar en el que participamos hace 5 años en la iglesia Riverside.
And I was thinking at the same time of a similar event that I attended 5 years ago at the Riverside Church.
Cuando asistimos también, como en esta ocasión, con la delegación cubana que iba a participar en una sesión de la Asamblea General de Naciones.
At that time, just like this time, we were here to attend a United Nations General Assembly session.
Esa noche nosotros llegamos con mucho nerviosismo a Riverside.
That night, we arrived at Riverside and we were very nervous.
Ahí estaba el espíritu de Fidel.
Because the spirit of Fidel was there.
Fidel visitó Riverside.
Because Fidel was also in Riverside.
Fidel fue recibido por la comunidad norteamericana en Riverside.
Fidel was received by the American community in Riverside.
Y ahí explicó al pueblo norteamericano las esencias de la Revolución Cubana.
And there he explained to the American people the essence of the Cuban Revolution.
Y toda esa historia que conocimos desde pequeños nos presionaba mucho al estar en el mismo lugar donde Fidel había hablado para los norteamericanos.
So that story that we have heard, since we were little, was exercising a lot of pressure on us as we were speaking to the American people there.
Esa noche llegó también a Riverside el presidente Maduro.
That night, we were joined at Riverside by President Maduro.
Esa noche en Riverside, Cuba y Venezuela recibieron también el calor, el apoyo, el afecto, el amor y la solidaridad del pueblo norteamericano.
And that night, both Cuba and Venezuela received the love, affection, support, and solidarity from the American people.
Y la magia y la significación del lugar enseguida se nos hizo común porque porque fuimos atendidos con enorme gentileza y con enorme amor por guy workers aquí presentes.
And
ahí la conocí personalmente.
the magic of the place became commonplace immediately for us because we were received there by as a worker.
Y ahí se inició una amistad y una hermandad que prevalece y va a prevalecer siempre, Gail, ¿verdad?
And from there, we grew a friendship and a brotherhood that will be there forever. Isn't that right?
Después, pasando el tiempo, jóvenes periodistas que trabajan en mi equipo me presentaron a Manolo de los Santos.
And as time went by, young reporters who are members of my team introduced Manolo to me.
Un inquieto joven norteamericano.
He's a restless young American.
Un inquieto dominicano norteamericano.
He's a DR American.
Un gran amigo de Cuba.
And a great friend of Cuba's.
Y desde el primer encuentro hablamos del socialismo.
And right from our first meeting, we spoke about socialism.
De los retos de la construcción socialista en tiempos tan difíciles.
And we spoke about the challenges of socialist construction in such challenging times.
Y de la aspiración de muchos jóvenes en Estados Unidos que aquí están hoy presentes.
And we also talked about the aspirations of many young Americans
por el socialismo.
Who are here tonight, their aspirations about socialism.
Siguió pasando el tiempo.
So, and time continued to pass by.
Y Manolo me presentó a Prachak.
And then Manolo introduced Prachak to me.
Y con Prachak también tuvimos una conversación.
And with him, we also held a conversation.
De mucha convicción.
In which we showed a lot of
de coincidencias de ideas.
And we also found commonality of ideas.
De cómo construir el socialismo.
In regards to ways to build socialism.
De cómo promover las ideas del socialismo entre los jóvenes.
To promote, socialist ideas among young people.
Y hablamos hasta de boxeo.
And we even talked about boxing.
Y ahí también se inició una amistad.
And there, we also started a friendship between us.
Cual hemos compartido en varios momentos después.
A friendship that has been nurtured on a number of occasions afterwards.
Y pasó el tiempo.
And time went by.
Y Manolo llevó a un grupo de jóvenes norteamericanos a Cuba.
Manolo took a group of young Americans to Cuba.
Muchos están aquí hoy presentes.
Many of which are in attendance tonight.
Nuestros amigos, nuestros hermanos de People Forum.
Our friends and our brothers and sisters from the People's Forum.
Y ahí entonces fuimos varias ocasiones teniendo encuentros, conversando, ellos visitando Cuba.
Ever since we have been holding meetings and we've been chanting with each other and they have been visiting us in Cuba.
También todas sus campañas de apoyo a Cuba.
We have also witnessed all of their campaigns, in favor of Cuba.
Nosotros apreciando cómo también las ideas más justas estaban presentes en la nueva generación de norteamericanos.
And so we have appreciated how the most just ideas were also present in the young American population.
Nunca vamos a olvidar
We shall never forget
la campaña de apoyo que ustedes protagonizaron en apoyo a Cuba cuando nos quisieron aislar en la cumbre de las Américas.
We shall never forget the campaign that you staged when attempts were being made in order to isolate Cuba at the Summit of the Americas.
Nunca vamos a olvidar todas las manifestaciones que en estos años han estado haciendo, sobre todo los fines de semana, en apoyo a Cuba y contra el bloqueo.
And we shall never forget all of your demonstrations every weekend almost in support of Cuba and against the U.S. blockade.
Y por eso hoy estamos aquí.
And this is the reason why we are here tonight.
Hoy es la última noche que vamos a estar en Nueva York durante esta visita.
Tonight is the last night we'll spend in New York in the course of our visit.
Habíamos visitado el People Forum en estos días.
In the course of our stay, we visited the People's Forum.
Habíamos podido conversar con Manolo y con otros de ustedes.
There, we spoke with Manolo and many of you.
Ayer estaban ustedes apoyándonos en las calles de Nueva York.
And yesterday, you were supporting us in the streets of New York.
Y no nos pudimos contener y tuvimos que ir a la esquina donde ustedes estaban también apoyando para saludarlos, abrazarles y agradecerles.
So we couldn't contain ourselves, so we had to go therefore to the corner where you were standing in order to thank you and greet you.
Pero lo que no podíamos imaginar
But there was something we couldn't imagine.
Es que en las últimas horas que vamos a estar hoy en Nueva York,
And it is that in the last few hours I will be spending in New York,
y vamos a estar viviendo las emociones con ustedes en este acto de solidaridad con Venezuela y con Cuba.
we never imagined that in our last few moments in New York we will be in attendance of this meeting of solidarity with Cuba and Venezuela.
Ustedes nos han brindado amor,
You have extended love to us.
nos han brindado apoyo,
You have extended support.
nos han
for
brindado
us.
solidaridad.
You have extended solidarity with us.
Ustedes nos han abrazado
You have hugged us.
y nosotros venimos aquí hoy a darles amor,
And
a
we have-
expresarles nuestra solidaridad y a agradecerles esos abrazos.
And we have come here to express our love, to show you our solidarity and reciprocate your hugs.
Y hoy en esta noche, en estos instantes, les estamos abrazando en nombre del pueblo cubano.
And tonight, right at this moment, we are hugging you all on behalf of the Cuban people.
Y es que este encuentro colma las emociones que hemos estado viviendo en estos días.
Because this meeting is getting us our emotions boiling high.
El primer día de nuestra estancia en Nueva York, fuimos al Centro Memorial Malcolm X.
First day of our stay in New York, we visited the Malcolm X Memorial and Educational Center.
Fuimos a rendir homenaje
And we went there.
a un luchador norteamericano,
We went there to pay tribute to an American fighter.
a un defensor de los derechos humanos,
We went there to pay tribute to a human rights champion.
a un defensor del pueblo afrodescendiente,
We went there to pay tribute to a champion of
del pueblo afro-norteamericano,
the African American
a
people,
un defensor de las causas justas.
a defender also the just causes.
Y con esa visita les rendíamos homenaje precisamente en la víspera del día en que se conmemoraban 63 años del encuentro aquí en Nueva York de Malcolm X y Fidel Castro.
And that visit occurred on the eve of the 63rd anniversary of a meeting that Fidel Castro had with Malcolm X right here in New York.
Era septiembre de 1960.
It was September 1960.
El Departamento de Estado había impedido que Fidel se pudiera alojar. No daba las seguridades para que la delegación cubana pudiera permanecer en Nueva York cuando acudía a una sesión de Naciones Unidas.
The U.S. State Department decided not to give assurances of Fidel's safety in New York, and he was here to attend a United Nations General Assembly session.
Y Malcolm X les abrió la puerta de Harlem.
And Malcolm X opened for him the Harlem doors.
Y Malcolm X propició que Fidel se hospedara en el Hotel Teresa.
And Malcolm X made sure
en Harlem.
Fidel could stay at the Hotel Teresa in Harlem.
Y ahí se inició una amistad indestructible que es también cimiento de la amistad que hoy estamos compartiendo aquí entre el pueblo norteamericano y el pueblo cubano.
And there emerged a friendship that became undying, the same friendship that we are now sharing with you all here, the American people.
Y también en estos días hemos podido tener encuentros con representantes de diferentes sectores del pueblo norteamericano.
Over the last few days, we have had the opportunity to meet with representatives of different sectors of the American society.
Con representantes del sector de la ciencia.
We have met with representatives of the science sector.
Del sector de la cultura.
Cultural sector.
Del sector de la salud.
Healthcare sector.
Con empresarios norteamericanos y empresarios cubanos que viven en Estados Unidos y que también promueven los vínculos comerciales con Cuba.
We have also met with the representatives of the American business community as well as Cuban American entrepreneurs who are resident here who are also promoting trade with Cuba.
También tuvimos un íntimo encuentro con cubanos que radican en los Estados Unidos.
We also held an intimate meeting with the Cuban expats who live here.
Y en todos ellos encontramos mensajes de apoyo, mensajes de solidaridad.
And from all of them we heard messages of support and solidarity.
Porque todos ellos y ustedes están construyendo entre el pueblo cubano y el pueblo norteamericano puentes de amor como Carlos Lazo.
Because them all, just like yourselves, are building bridges of love between the American and the Cuban people, as Carlos Lazo is doing.
Comprenderán que en un momento en que Cuba vive con un bloqueo recrudecido,
you need to understand that Cuba is experiencing a flared-up U.S. blockade.
Y cuando sentimos también los efectos de un recrudecimiento al habernos incluido en una lista de países que supuestamente apoyan el terrorismo.
And this flared-up blockade also includes Cuba's designation on a list of terror-sponsoring countries.
Encontrarnos con ese apoyo, encontrarnos con esa fuerza, encontrarnos con ese aliento y con esa energía que ustedes nos dan.
So when we find ourselves, with this support and this encouragement and this energy that you are infusing in us,
nos obliga a expresarles estos sentimientos.
Therefore, we feel obligated to express these feelings to you.
Y ante todo agradecerles.
And in particular, we need to thank you.
Como todos conocen, hemos estado participando como parte de una delegación cubana en la 78 sesión de la Asamblea General de Naciones Unidas.
As you are all aware, we have come here to attend the 78th United Nations General Assembly session.
Hemos acudido aquí no solo para levantar la voz del pueblo cubano.
And we have come here not only to raise the voice of the Cuban people.
Hemos venido aquí también para levantar la voz de los pueblos del sur.
We have also come here to raise the voices of the peoples of the south.
Porque Cuba en estos momentos está presidiendo el grupo de los 77 y China.
Because currently Cuba is chairing the G77 plus China.
Un grupo de más de 133 naciones del sur.
This group brings together over 133 nations from the
que
south.
coordina acciones a favor de los países en desarrollo.
And this group also coordinates actions and positions in favor of developing countries.
Un grupo diverso e integrado fundamentalmente por naciones de África, Asia y América Latina y el Caribe.
This is a diverse group, the composition of which includes countries from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean.
Y en ese grupo somos el sur.
And that group is the South.
Somos herederos de un pasado común como colonias.
We are the heirs of a past which we share as colonies.
Sufrimos la explotación y el saqueo de nuestros recursos naturales y humanos.
We have suffered, the exploitation and plunder of our riches and human resources.
Con el cual se beneficiaron las antiguas metrópolis europeas que se enriquecieron con nuestros recursos.
And these riches and resources came to enrich European metropolis.
Y en épocas más contemporáneas,
and in more recent times,
nuestros pueblos también han sido víctimas de expresiones de neocolonialismo.
Our peoples have also been the victims of expressions of neocolonialism.
Somos más del 80% de la población mundial.
We account for more than 80% of the world's population.
Y somos la mayoría de los pueblos que han sido más castigados por la pobreza, el hambre, la miseria, las muertes por enfermedades curables.
And we are also the peoples that have been hit the hardest by poverty, hunger, death, and death associated to curable diseases.
El analfabetismo, los desplazamientos humanos y otras consecuencias del subdesarrollo.
And we have also been hit the hardest by illiteracy, human displacement, and other consequences from underdevelopment.
Somos también las naciones que más sufren las consecuencias.
We are also the nations that are suffering the most the consequences
del cambio climático, de la crisis climática que vive el mundo,
of climate change and its related crisis being experienced by the world,
cuya causa son los patrones de producción y consumo insostenibles del capitalismo.
The cause of which are the unsustainable patterns of consumption and production brought about by capitalism.
En síntesis, somos las primeras víctimas y las principales víctimas del cambio climático.
All in all, we are the number one and main victims of climate change.
Cuba se empeñó en que en la presidencia pro tempore promoviéramos nuestro compromiso de defender la causa de esos pueblos.
Cuba made it a purpose that at its chair of this group, we will be promoting taking the commitment of promoting the interests of these poor countries.
Que es también la causa del pueblo cubano.
Which is also the cause of the Cuban people.
Y es la causa a favor de la justicia, por lo que también se lucha en los países desarrollados y que defienden ustedes aquí en los Estados Unidos.
And this is also the cause, for justice, a cause that is also being defended in developed countries, as is the case of you guys here in the U.S.
Hoy en el mundo existe un orden económico internacional que genera y perpetúa el subdesarrollo.
The existing international economic order generates and perpetuates underdevelopment.
Que garantiza modos de vida lucrativos e insostenibles solo para unas minorías.
This order guarantees lucrative and unsustainable lifestyles only for a minority.
A costa de las condiciones deprimidas de vida para las mayorías, tanto en naciones en desarrollo como en países desarrollados.
At the expense of depressed living conditions, not only in the developed countries, but also in developed countries.
Faltan empleos dignos.
So there is a shortage of decent employment.
Sistemas de educación básicos de calidad.
Also, quality basic education systems are in short supply.
Servicios de salud accesibles para todos.
Affordable healthcare services are available
Y otras
to
formas de
all are also in short supply.
Y otras formas de justicia social a la que debían tener acceso todas las personas del mundo.
And other forms of social justice to which everyone in the world should have
a la que
the
debían
right
tener acceso
to,
todos los pueblos del mundo.
And these forms of social justice should be made available to all of the peoples around the world.
Y que hoy no la tienen grandes mayorías, incluso en los países ricos.
But these forms of social justice are not being available, not even in the large majorities in rich countries.
Es por eso que reclamamos solidaridad y no egoísmo.
This is why we are calling for solidarity rather than greed.
Cooperación y no rivalidades.
Cooperation rather than rivalry.
Trabajo digno y no explotación.
Decent employment and not exploitation.
Armonía, respeto y tolerancia.
Harmony, respect and tolerance.
Y no racismo ni discriminaciones de ningún tipo.
And not racism or discrimination.
Los pueblos tienen derecho a determinar su destino.
Every people has a right to determine its own destiny.
Sin injerencias o imposiciones extranjeras.
Without foreign interference or imposition.
Las naciones tienen derecho sobre sus fuentes de riqueza y sus recursos naturales.
Every nation is entitled to its wealth and natural resources.
Los cuales no pueden seguir siendo patrimonio intocable de las grandes empresas transnacionales.
And this cannot continue to be untouchable heritage of major multinationals.
Nuestros pueblos tienen también el derecho a identificar y rechazar los patrones culturales enajenantes que nos tratan de imponer.
Our peoples also have the right to identify and reject, the alienating cultural forms that they are trying to impose on us.
Esos que nos tratan de imponer los medios de comunicación.
I am referring to these forms of culture that are being imposed by the media.
Y que son también nuevas formas de colonización.
And which represent new forms of colonization.
Y que tienen como objetivo desmovilizar,
and their purpose is to demobilize,
confundir, desorientar y deprimir la capacidad de movilización y respuesta de nuestros pueblos.
So confusion and also disorient and eliminate the capacity to respond by our people.
Promoviendo el egoísmo y el consumismo.
For they are promoting greed and consumerism.
Generando apatía y resentimiento.
They are generating apathy and resentment.
Y a la vez celebran patrones de éxito y bienestar que son insostenibles.
And at the same time they are promoting and celebrating patterns of success and well-being that are unsustainable.
Desprecian la justicia social y el valor de las ideas.
They despise social justice and the value of ideas.
Pretenden que ignoremos nuestra historia y tratan de dividirnos.
They are trying to make sure that we forget our history. And they are trying also to divide us.
Vivimos en un mundo cada vez más polarizado.
We live in a world that is increasingly polarized.
Donde los gastos de armamento son descomunales.
In which we are witnessing huge expenditures in weapons.
Y donde los patrones de producción y consumo amenazan la estabilidad ambiental y pueden llevarnos al pesimismo.
And in which the patterns of production and consumption are also threatening the environment and may lead us to pessimism.
Pero esa no es la naturaleza de los revolucionarios.
But pessimism is not the nature of the revolutionaries.
Esa no es la opción para quienes confiamos en que un mundo mejor es posible.
That is not an option for those of us who believe that a better world is possible.
Y para los que tenemos la convicción
And it is not an option for those of us who have the belief
que vale la pena luchar por ese mundo mejor que también es posible.
that it is worth it to fight for that better world.
Por eso para nosotros es un motivo de gran satisfacción reunirnos con ustedes, que son tantos compañeros, amigos, hermanas y hermanos que comparten estas ideas.
This is why it is so great for us to meet with you all, for you are friends, comrades, and sisters who share with us all of these ideas.
Es un privilegio poder expresar en un escenario como este nuestra gratitud y reconocimiento.
It is a privilege to stand at this forum and express our appreciation and thanks
A los que durante tantos años han acompañado a la causa de Cuba en defensa de su independencia, del derecho a determinar su propio destino, y los que durante tanto tiempo han luchado contra el criminal bloqueo yanqui.
Here we are here to express our appreciation and thanks to those who for many years have been standing alongside with Cuba as we defend our independence and self-determination, and those of you who have also for many years have been fighting against the criminal U.S. blockade.
Es también un privilegio poder unir hoy, aquí en la noche, nuestra voz junto a la de ustedes en solidaridad con Venezuela.
And it is also a privilege for us to join our voices to yours in solidarity with Venezuela too.
Con Nicaragua.
And with Nicaragua.
Y con el pueblo de Puerto Rico que hoy celebra su glorioso grito de Lares.
And the people of Puerto Rico that today is marking another anniversary of the Cry of Lares.
Y también con los pueblos de América Latina, el Caribe, África y Asia, y todos aquellos
and also to express solidarity with the peoples of Latin America, the Caribbean, Asia, and Africa.
Y todos aquellos, incluso en Europa y Norteamérica, que son víctimas de la injusticia y la desigualdad.
And all of those people in Europe and North America who are victims of inequality and injustice.
Es un privilegio, además, compartir con tantos amigos y escuchar en sus propias voces los problemas políticos y sociales que enfrentan en su día a día.
And it is also a privilege, to be here and listen to our friends here, as they speak about the political and social conditions that they are confronted with in their day-to-day lives.
En Cuba, el proceso revolucionario transformador continúa el rumbo del socialismo.
In Cuba, our revolutionary transforming process continues along the path of socialism.
Transitamos por momentos especialmente difíciles, como ustedes conocen, en el manejo de la economía.
And as you are aware, we're going through difficult times, in the operation of our economy.
Como consecuencia del recrudecimiento del bloqueo.
As a consequence of the intensification of the U.S. blockade.
Por las afectaciones que provoca también la inclusión en la lista de países que supuestamente apoyan al terrorismo.
As a consequence also of Cuba's designation on a list of terror sponsoring countries.
Y también por problemas e insuficiencias internas que nosotros tenemos que superar.
And also as a consequence of domestic problems and insufficiencies that
Y eso
it is
deben
incumbent
conocerlo
upon us to
nuestros amigos y
overcome.
lo compartimos con ustedes.
So this is information that we need to share with you, our friends.
Y esas realidades ustedes las perciben cuando visitan nuestro país.
And you can see for yourselves all of these realities every time you visit Cuba.
El efecto combinado de la pandemia de la COVID-19 y del reforzamiento del bloqueo económico
The combined effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the intensification of the U.S. economic blockade
plantean obstáculos significativos para asegurar el crecimiento económico y garantizar muchas de las necesidades de la población.
are posing serious challenges to our economic growth and the satisfaction of many of our necessities of our public.
Pero incluso bajo esas condiciones,
But even in these conditions,
no hemos dejado ni dejaremos de priorizar la justicia social.
we have continued and we will continue to attach priority to social justice.
No dejaremos de garantizar las necesidades fundamentales de la población.
We shall continue to satisfy the basic needs of our population.
Continuaremos defendiendo la equidad
We shall continue to defend equity.
y seguiremos empeñados en la voluntad de proteger al sistema socialista por el que se han sacrificado tantas generaciones de cubanos.
And we shall continue to make our strongest efforts to defend our socialist system for which so many generations of Cubans have sacrificed themselves.
No hemos abandonado nunca ni abandonaremos el principio de la solidaridad.
We have never neglected, nor will we ever neglect the principles of solidarity.
Ni siquiera en los momentos de mayores limitaciones económicas.
Not even at times of our worst economic limitations.
Y seguiremos compartiendo no lo que nos sobra, sino lo que tenemos.
And we shall continue to act alongside this principle in which we don't have a lot, but we share what we have.
Como ustedes conocen, durante la COVID-19 el gobierno de Estados Unidos se comportó de manera perversa hacia Cuba.
And as you are aware, at times of the COVID-19, the U.S. government acted evil in respect to Cuba.
Y tuvo un comportamiento criminal.
The U.S. government acted criminally
En algunas de las acciones que realizó contra nuestro pueblo en aquellas difíciles circunstancias.
under those difficult circumstances for our people.
Presionó a compañías en el área de Latinoamérica y el Caribe para que no le vendieran oxígeno medicinal a Cuba cuando nuestra planta sufrió una avería en medio del pico pandémico.
In the midst of the pandemic peak, our medicinal oxygen manufacturing plant failed, and the U.S. government went out of its way to exercise pressure on the Latin American and Caribbean suppliers so that these suppliers will not sell oxygen to Cuba.
Impidió que compañías que comercializan ventiladores pulmonares le vendieran a Cuba los mismos cuando necesitábamos ampliar nuestras salas de cuidados intensivos.
And the U.S. government also prevented companies that were suppliers of pulmonary ventilators from selling these ventilators to us at a time in which we needed to expand our ICUs to respond to COVID.
Pero nuestro sistema de salud pública y nuestro nivel científico permitió que pudiéramos superar la adversidad.
But our healthcare system and our scientific base helped us overcome the adversities.
Nuestros científicos, entre ellos jóvenes científicos, crearon las vacunas que salvaron el país.
Our scientists, in particular our young scientists, came up with the vaccines, homegrown vaccines that saved our country.
Jóvenes científicos diseñaron y construyeron ventiladores pulmonares de altas prestaciones.
So young scientists in Cuba also designed and manufactured pulmonary ventilators with a lot of applications.
Y así controlamos la enfermedad.
And that's how we're able to keep COVID under control.
Con un control que clasifica entre los mejores del mundo.
And our performance qualifies among the top in the world.
Con vacunas, medicamentos, equipamiento y protocolos hechos en Cuba.
And we have relied on vaccines, drugs, protocols, and equipment, all of them made in Cuba.
Pero también nos resultó muy importante y altamente estimulante.
But it was also very important and quite encouraging
recibir en ese complejo escenario la ayuda solidaria internacional
to receive international assistance under those difficult circumstances.
En particular de grandes cantidades de jeringuillas que llegaron de muchas partes del mundo, que llegaron de los Estados Unidos, que las enviaron ustedes.
In particular, syringes were donated to Cuba from a lot of parts from around the world, including the U.S. Syringes were donated by you.
La apuesta del imperialismo en las horas más difíciles de estos últimos años ha sido lograr el fin de la revolución y el desplome del socialismo en Cuba.
So the imperialism's bet in these darkest hours of our country has been to overthrow the revolutionary government in Cuba.
Y es cierto que nos han causado daño,
and admittedly,
penurias,
we have suffered damage.
Escasez,
we have suffered scarcity
y otras dificultades.
And we have suffered other challenges.
Pero no lograron derrumbar la revolución cubana ni lo van a lograr nunca.
But they were unsuccessful in ousting the Cuban Revolution, and they will never be successful in that end.
La resistencia creativa del pueblo cubano,
the creative resistance shown by the Cuban people
ha demostrado que el imperialismo no tiene capacidad para doblegar nuestra voluntad.
Has shown that imperialism does not have the capacity to
ni
bend
quebrar
our
el
will.
compromiso de nuestro pueblo con la revolución y el socialismo.
For we are inspired with by our commitment to our people and socialism.
Tenemos fe en nuestra causa.
We have faith in our cause.
Confiamos en nuestra obra de justicia social.
We rely on our project of social justice.
Y sentimos el respaldo solidario de hermanos y hermanas en todas partes del mundo como ustedes.
And we feel, the solidaristic support from brothers and sisters from all corners around the world, you included.
Reciban un abrazo fraterno y solidario del pueblo de Cuba.
May I give you a fraternal and solidaristic hug from the Cuban people.
Reciban un mensaje de amistad para el pueblo norteamericano.
And here goes also a message of friendship from us to the American people.
Y también para todos los pueblos representados por ustedes aquí.
And this message is the same for all of the peoples who are represented by you here.
Creemos firmemente, como nos enseñó Fidel, que no hay fuerza capaz de vencer la fuerza de la verdad y de las ideas.
As Fidel taught us, there is no power around the world that can beat the power of the truth and ideas.
Seguiremos junto a ustedes luchando por Cuba.
We shall continue to be alongside with you as we fight for Cuba.
Luchando por el socialismo.
As we fight for socialism.
Luchando por la justicia social.
And as we fight for social justice.
Luchando por conquistar un mundo mejor.
And as we fight to conquer a better world.
Y lo lograremos.
And we shall be successful.
Y venceremos.
And we shall overcome.
Hasta la victoria siempre.
Ever onward to victory.
Comrades, before we head out, there's one very important task for all the comrades here, for all the friends of Cuba, for all the revolutionaries here. What is our slogan? Let Cuba live! Let Cuba live! Our comrades from the International People's Assembly, of movements, of parties of the left, of trade unions, of organizations of the working class around the world have launched a campaign for over 1 million signatures to get Cuba off the list. We are only a quarter of the way. Vijay has promised us 500,000 signatures just in India. But it is up to the young people of the United States to disprove the American government. We will get those signatures. And with that, comrades, we ask you to sit down so that we can close the evening and let our guests leave. We thank you all for coming here tonight.
Agradecemos a todos por venir hoy.
We thank the New York Society for Ethical Culture. We thank all the volunteers who make this night possible.
Por la ayuda. Les agradecemos a todos por hacer de esta noche algo posible.
Thank you, Cuba. Thank you, Venezuela.
Gracias, Cuba, y gracias, Venezuela.